Welcome, everyone, to Hacking the Universe. I'm Erin Werley.
I'm Philip Werley.
So we're really excited to be here with you again today. We are going to be talking about Ascension symptoms, what that means, what that looks like, what it feels like, what to do when you are experiencing them so that you can get through them quickly and get back to your life. So how's the last week been for you, babe?
It's been a tough week. We've survived.
We've survived,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
So it's been rough.
About 2 years ago, really early 2022, first time I ever had energy work done on me. Well, I had energy work done years before one time, but anyway, first time in recent memory that I had energy work done. Afterwards, I needed to go lay in bed. It was probably 3 or 4 hours afterwards. It was fine. I had the energy work done. I felt a little something. And then I was going about my day. And about 3 or 4 hours later, this exhaustion just hit me. And it wasn't an exhaustion I recognized. It wasn't something I had experienced before in, at that point, my 38 years of life. It was this exhaustion where my body just literally could not go on. If I had been driving a car, I would have had to pull over. And so I basically, I mumbled something to Phil and I crawled into bed and slept for, I think, probably about 4 hours. And it was a light sleep though. And I remember waking up a few times during it and I just felt really heavy, but somehow, even though it felt heavy, I felt very peaceful as well. And when I woke up, I was fine. I was like, I just had this knowing inside that this was part of the energy work, that in order to embody it, that my body was literally putting itself to sleep so my mind wouldn't be in the way while I was embodying it. And I just started to understand that after I continued having energy work done on myself and then learning energy work, that occasionally this would happen. It certainly wasn't every time. For me, it's more like once every 3 to 6 months is what it seems to be, essentially. So probably 2 to 3 times a year over the last 2.5, 3 years, I've experienced this. And sometimes it's a lot worse than that. About 3 months ago, I made a really expansive decision to hire a mentor, a business mentor, who is absolutely amazing, but it was really a stretch for me to say yes to this. And as soon as I did, there was this energy just pulsing through me. It was just such an energetic upgrade for me to choose this thing, which I knew I was being called to do, but it was only that next level self in me that could make that expansive decision. And I did it. And the energy upgrade was instant. It was amazing. It was magical. It was like, holy cow. But a week later, I had major ascension symptoms from this energetic upgrade. It's essentially your physical body is playing catch up to your energy body. Your energy body is already in this new level, but your physical body is still existing in the heavier, denser levels. And your physical body has to essentially, sometimes it's throw off toxins, sometimes it's just restructure itself in terms of all different things. It could be sacred geometry restructuring, it could be DNA restructuring, it could be all different kinds of things that are having to restructure to now match that blueprint of your energy body. And so this can be, like I said, a few hours in bed, or it could be horrible for a few days. And 3 months ago, I experienced it as being horrible. And again, this week, it was a similar experience. But the beautiful thing was, even though there's a lot of similarities to sickness, it it felt calm to me. It felt like this is just more Ascension symptoms, and I've been through that before and I can handle that. I think what would probably be worrying is if you don't understand that it's normal, that we have all sorts of things stuffed down into our physical body that cause dis-ease within us from never having expressed them, from saying, this is uncomfortable, I'm not going to look at that. This is uncomfortable, I'm not going to look at that. Or I'm only going to think positive thoughts. I'm not going to express the things that want to come out of me that aren't positive, or whatever it may be. And so much of this is from childhood. There's just so much going on. So sometimes Ascension symptoms look like nausea. Sometimes they look like diarrhea. Sometimes it looks like just complete exhaustion where it's just hard to move. For me, it was interesting. I was doing energy. I did the Lightworkers with SoulStar Coding week 3 last night, and the class was absolutely beautiful. It was so good. And then it came time to do the energy session. And about 5 minutes in, it was interesting. It was the exact point that, so the previous 2 weeks we had learned how to shield and how to embody and anchor in energy and into our physical bodies, right? And so right when it got to that point in the energy session, what we had done the first 2 weeks, I started coughing so much. Now, I hadn't been coughing at all previous during the week while I was experiencing these Ascension symptoms. I hadn't been coughing at all. And then all of a sudden I was hacking, like literally I could not catch my breath. Now, this has happened one other time on an energy session. Actually, it may have been 2 other times when I was doing live energy sessions. And the reason this happens is because there's a lot of throat clearing that's necessary. And there's usually a big message that's coming through as well. So I instantly knew, okay, just stop the energy session, reschedule the energy session, go in and do some throat clearing for everyone involved and look at what are the messages. So I got quite a few messages to bring forward for the Lightworkers class around why this was happening. So what's interesting is if we can stop looking at our bodies as the opposition, as why are you doing these things why can't you just be perfect, body? Why are you doing these things that make me feel uncomfortable, right? Because my human reaction when I start coughing in the middle of the energy session is, oh, that's not good. You can't do that. What's wrong with you, body? But I have this deep knowing in me that everything's happening divinely in our lives. Everything is divinely orchestrated. And if this is happening, it's happening because it needs to happen for the highest good of myself and everyone within the class. That there's so much that wants to be pulled out of the throat area. Now, our throats are a really, really interesting energy area for us. They're where we either speak our truth from, share what wants to come through, or we say, no, it's not safe. If you ever experience a lump in your throat, that heavy, dense feeling sometimes in your throat, it's because literally something wants to be spoken, but you're blocking it and you're saying, I can't speak right now. So if you ever get a feeling in your throat, and trust me when I say a cough also means that something wants to be spoken. Now, part of that message for me was not only is there's so many messages that were coming through, it was coming through so fast. So part of that message for me, because it's not just about the people in the class, we're all on this journey together. Part of that message was, Erin, there was something that you weren't speaking your truth about, and that needs to come out. And as I do that and bring that forward, I'm leading everyone in the class in the safety around them doing the same thing. So for me, it was I should have shared about the Ascension symptoms I had been going through the previous week. Now, I purposely didn't because I had it planned out that I was going to share that further on in the class when we were learning about Ascension symptoms. And the message I received when I was then going in and doing the throat clearing, which I did that immediately after I ended the Zoom call, was, Erin, divine timing. Even though you were planning on doing Ascension symptoms later in the class, trust that if that's what wants to come through right now, bring it forward right now. Remember, it's not going to make sense from the human perspective of planning things out in advance. We trust to bring forward what wants to come through in the now moment. And that's really important, isn't it, babe?
Yes.
Yes. So tell us about the Ascension symptoms you've been experiencing.
Well, we all have.
Yeah, the kids too.
We all have. It's been rough. We a couple days and nights of I don't even know how to explain it. How would you just?
Yeah, because it's not like a normal sickness. Now, if you were experiencing it, you might think I'm simply sick, but it's much different than a sickness because it's accompanied with this really heavy, dense feeling of just your body being kept down. So it's literally us not being able to leave bed, really, like simply making it to the bathroom is quite a struggle.
Yeah, I spent the last couple days in bed.
Yeah, so it was about 2 days in bed, and after that we were able to get out of bed fine. But it's just so heavy that, and it's happening literally to keep you immobile so that you can do a lot of sleeping and move through it.
It's like there are weights tied to my arms and legs.
So it's very much an energetic thing.
Like,
right.
The kids wanted me to pick them up. I couldn't. You know, it's like just walking across the house was like, it's like there are barbells taped to your legs or something. Yeah.
You
just gotta go lay down.
Yeah. And it's just all about trusting. So one thing that we recommend, now we did not have any nausea or vomiting with this one. The last one about 3 months ago, I had some severe of that. But I don't think that you really, I think it was just me that had it. Yeah, maybe me and Maddie. And the other thing is, when you are doing Ascension energy work, the people around you either have to come up with you or they have to sort of leave your vicinity. That's the truth about energy work, is as you're raising your vibration, either the people around you are going to be magnetized to you and choose to come up with you, or they're going to say, I don't want any part of raising my vibration, and they'll just sort of start leaving. But if your vibration is going up, it is not possible to keep people around you who aren't also choosing to go up. Yeah. So it's totally natural that the kids are coming up, that Phil's coming up, because we're all on this journey together. Everyone who watches these videos, you are coming up energetically with us. Everyone who's in my classes, who does my energy activations, you're coming up energetically because you're choosing to put yourself in this vibration. And so that's why I always recommend after energy work to really pay attention to what your body needs. Does it want to lay down? Does it want to have a bath? Does it want to go for a walk outside? And trusting that. I know for me, on the second day of laying in bed, I had this image of me. And again, my limbs felt so heavy. It felt like there's no way I can get out of bed. But I had this image of me walking around outside. And so I said, okay, I'm going to practically crawl to the door. And I crawled. I didn't really crawl. I walked, but it was like this really heavy walk. But I made it to the door. I made it outside. And as soon as I was outside, I just took this breath of fresh air. And it felt really, really good. And I walked a couple laps in our backyard. And it felt so, so good. And I don't know, it just really put a bit of a spring in my step. And after that, I started really noticing myself getting lighter and lighter and lighter, and everything started getting easier. So anyway, highly recommend, if you're experiencing especially nausea and diarrhea, water with electrolytes. So I just add fasting salts because I can just add a little tablet of fasting salts and shake up my water bottle. It's perfect. But you could do like a Pedialyte or a Gatorade or something, but I don't like to drink stuff like that, honestly, because we don't really have any sugar at all.
No.
We stay away from sugar.
We've cut sugar out of our diets completely.
Yeah, that's been for like over a year now, I think.
Really? A year? You think so?
It was last summer. Yeah. It was early last summer, maybe
it's
last
quite an achievement. Let me tell you, that was, we tried many times and failed, and now we finally figured it out. We've done it.
It's very, well, you know, any sort of dietary change is difficult the first few weeks, and then it's like you
have to go through withdrawal, especially sugar. I mean,
you have to go through the
people who say that sugar is a drug, for a long time I thought that wasn't true, and now that I've cut out my diet, I'm 100% convinced.
Well, you used to eat candy.
I know. Yeah, obviously, it was like an addict saying that they're not addicted. This isn't a problem for me. You know, sugar isn't a drug. I'm just going to eat these gumdrops, you know. Yeah, I'm just going to go buy another bag of candy.
He had so many bags of candy in his office.
Obviously, I was addicted, you know, but I was in denial, you know. But I'm convinced, because when I cut out sugar, like first couple of times we tried to do it, we just cut out sugar, and it didn't work. It wasn't until we figured out, you know, carbs and starches are sugar too. So we have to cut those out at least for a while so we can get over it. Cut those too. So when I did that, cut out sugar, carbs, and starches, it was crazy the withdrawal I went through. I mean, it was like 2 days and nights of just sweating and shivering. It was like I was one of those people. Yeah. It was like, you know, in the movies where you see people going through withdrawal, like heroin addicts going through withdrawal.
It was so bad.
That's what it was like. I mean, I probably doesn't compare it with that at all in reality, but that's what I felt like, and that's what I looked like. And it was like I felt like my face was melting off, like sweating so much, but I wasn't sweating. It was crazy. Like I thought I was sweating, but it wasn't. It was crazy. So I went through these massive withdrawals, and then once I got through that, then we were able to cut out sugar, and we slowly added back in, you know, some grains and stuff like that, wheat bread and whatnot. But we still cut the sugar. But I don't have any sugar cravings at all anymore. Yeah. So it's like that's.
We still eat fruit and stuff, so we get like natural sugar, but we don't eat like things where sugar, like white sugar's added. You
know, people say that fruit has sugar in it, but it's totally different sugar, especially when it's packaged with soluble fiber. And they have studies, the soluble fiber in the fruit helps to regulate your glucose levels in your body, and it's all kinds of positive things for you. So fruit is actually packaged in a way where the sugar won't cause any damage to you, as opposed to like processed sugar. It's totally different. It's But as far as the energy with the energy symptoms, I noticed like a lot of times I'll have energy work done and I'll like pass out.
He always falls asleep as soon as energy work.
And then I'll be like, man, I don't know why I'm so tired. I'm just like, I just passed out. And you're like, well, you had energy work done. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Or it'd be like later in the day, I'll start feeling sick and like have to go lay down or something. I'm like, oh man, what's going on? Why am I so sick? And then she's like, Phil, you're not sick. You just had energy work. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, she always have to remind me. Mm-hmm. So it coincides.
How long does that normally last for you, would you say?
Not very long, usually. I mean,
Well, I'm asking you, does that mean 3 days? Does that mean a couple hours? I'm asking for our viewers.
Usually a couple hours.
Yeah.
This
Right,
one
exactly.
was something else, though. This one was a few days of.
It's a little bit of heaviness. You fall asleep for a couple hours, and that's for me too. So this is unusual, but it does happen. And so the reason I wanted to come in here and talk about this is because there aren't enough people talking about this. And so what I've noticed is people get worried when they're experiencing ascension symptoms that they're not doing something right. That if they're doing energy work, that they should feel good all the time, when in fact that's only true sort of after we really reset our bodies completely, and we're not there yet. That's going to be a journey that still has a few years to go for us. There's so much in there. We're clearing at a rapid rate so much of that pain from childhood, so much of the even past life things, but there's a lot that we are clearing. And I don't know, it's a really exciting process. It feels really good because once you get through these sort of dense ascension symptoms, like you're just flying high for a good amount of time. And then, when it's time again, and it's happening because we're continuing to ask for it. We're continuing to ask to ascend and go higher and to heal. We're saying more healing, more. And so, we keep healing, and healing has this die-off period where that old part of you that can't go along into these new ascension places needs to die off, and that's okay. And so I'm trying to think of other things that we do. Genesis, which is, it used to be, it's this antioxidant drink that we highly recommend. It's a network marketing product. Like, we don't sell network marketing or anything, but we've used it for you've used it for 15 years. Yeah. I've used it since I met Phil 12 years ago.
It's an amazing product.
And it used to be from a company called Symmetry, and then they got sold to a company called Zingular.
Zingular bought them, yeah.
So anyway, it's an amazing product.
It's the same product still, though.
That helps us. So I don't know what's in this stuff. It's like this magic juice with all of these amazing ingredients, and it really helps get us through whatever ascension symptoms. So I'll link it below. Again, we're not affiliated. We don't get any commission. We have no incentive to recommend this to you at all, except we truly believe
it really is a good product.
Yeah. So then the other thing is the glutathione. Glutathione helps your liver clear quicker, which helps as toxins are clearing. So I'll link that as well. Again, nothing we're recommending. I'll link the fasting salts that I add to water. Nothing we're recommending. Do we have any incentive to recommend?
Get the fasting salts without the fillers, though. Yes,
that's I will link specifically because with the fillers it doesn't mix with the water, and it's anyway. So okay. Wanted to say one other thing. Oh, yes. Another thing that can happen is the clearing can come out through your skin. It can come out through your skin. So sometimes you might have a weird rash on your skin or something. It can come out in all different ways. And if you're like, oh my gosh, I've been doing all this healing work, why do I have this weird rash? Trust, it's actually stuff that was buried in your body that finally has a pathway out, that you've finally been healing, and allow that this is actually leaving. And if you do, it's going to clear out and leave. But if you freak out and say, oh no, I must be doing it wrong, then you're actually going to stuff everything back down. So just trust that your healing work, whatever you're doing, is working, and that it's normal that your body needs a little bit of time to catch up.
It's like your body has to get rid of this stuff to move to that higher level. So you're going to have symptoms, It's like when energy work, everybody has an energy body. I'm sure Adams probably knows this, but if you look at Kirlian photography or whatnot, they can actually take a picture of this stuff. We have these energy bodies, these halos around us. And when you're having energy work, it's actually working on your energy body. Mm-hmm. And so your body, your physical body, has to now rise up to the level that you brought your energy body to. And some of the things in your body that you had they're not at that level anymore.
Right.
Your body has to shed them, get rid of them.
Yes.
So, and it can be really uncomfortable,
Yeah.
you know, it can be really uncomfortable. You feel like you're sick, but it's really your body just getting rid of this junk that's been in you that doesn't match with the energy level you're at anymore. So it's your body to move up there. You got to get rid of it. And it sucks, but you just got to get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great explanation, babe.
Yeah, thank you.
You're so brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we have to end right now because I have to go pick the kids up from bug class.
Yes, we do.
The kids are in an 1.5 hour bug life class on Fridays. So I'm going to go pick them up. I send each and every one of you so much love. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.